I think we're all floating along in a sea of possibilities. We're all in the same spot. We all have the same abilities and the same opportunities, and we can go any direction we want. The problem is, and the challenging part is, those who achieve excellence and those who achieve greatness learn to navigate that sea better. They become the master of the sea. And those who don't float along and hope for the winds to push them in the right direction. So that's the big thing about today, is if you take anything from this, it's learning how to navigate what I call the sea of possibilities. We have motivation, and that's the wind. Motivation I put first because I think it's the weakest. Motivation is temporary. We don't know when the wind's going to show up. We don't know what direction the wind's going to blow. We don't know for how long that wind is actually going to push us in the direction we want to go. So when we get motivated, we have to attack that motivation, and we have to take it for what it's worth and ride it for as long as it's there. We have the commitment, and that's the hard work that we have to do. The work is our oars. So when the wind's not blowing and you're not getting any help, are you willing to put your oars in the water and row the boat? But when you don't do all of the work and you try to cut corners and you try to take shortcuts, you're just average. We have discipline, which is the daily things that we have to do. The habits, the routines, and in this case, for example, we set the sails, right? Whether the wind's ready to blow or not, we have to set the sails. We have to make sure there's no holes in our boat. We have to make sure our compass is pointed in the right direction, that our rudder's in the water, that we're ready to row if we need to. Because if you try to cut corners and you try to skip steps and you try to do it fast and you don't do the discipline stuff, eventually it may not affect you now, but down the line there's going to be a bigger hole. There's going to be adversity. Those are the storms that are going to show up. When you look at adversity and the storms on the sea, they're going to happen. They're going to show up. You can't determine when. You can't determine for how long. You don't know where they're going to come from. How are you going to handle it? How are you going to look at the failure that's going to happen? Are you going to let it spin your boat and point you off course? Are you going to put your oars in the water and paddle through it? Are you going to hunker down and wait for it to pass? And I believe that if you attack your adversity head on and you use it as learning opportunities, you're going to find that at the end of the day, you're going to end up more successful. We have to be passionate. So we have to find what that passion is, and that's our rudder. It's going to steer our ship. But more important than that, we have to find our purpose, and that's our compass. Because passions are going to change over time. You'll be passionate about something here, something will change, and you'll be passionate about something over here. But if you can get your passions to align with your purpose, even if they shift a little bit, you can find yourself making more progress towards your ultimate goals. My goal was to play in college, and so I thought my passion lining up with basketball was directly in line with my purpose. But I didn't see the secondary passion, which was baseball. That was my first love. I had lost it because basketball was more fun at the time. And so I was steering my boat this way, headed towards that passion, where my purpose was here. And so I needed to course correct. And if any of you have ever seen a ship sail, it doesn't go directly towards its target. Ships sail like this. They follow the wind. They're going to go this way. The wind's going to shift. They're going to shift back. And so that's our passion changing over time. But if we can shift our passion back and forth and adjust our sails to keep us moving towards our purpose, which is our greater why, then over time we get closer to our final destination. So I'm not saying don't acknowledge your passions. I want you to chase those passions. I think that's important. I think you need to be passionate about what you're going after, because that helps you do the little things I talked about before. You have to be passionate about it, otherwise it's just, you won't do it. The X factor is confidence. Nobody can give you confidence. If you look at the really, really excellent people in life, the people who achieve really high levels of success, if you watch them perform, there is a level of arrogance about that performance, but they are extremely humble in their preparation. Give me as much feedback as you possibly can. Tell me every single thing I'm doing wrong. You're not always going to get it right, but if you are constantly saying thank you for giving me feedback, over time, that feedback's going to become more and more detailed, and you're going to get better and better. In preparation, be humble, be hungry to learn, want to get better, and then when it's time to perform, you're the best for the job. Check your rudder, make sure you're sailing in the right direction, so when those passions shift and you find yourself going a new way, that it's close enough to align with your purpose to get you a little bit closer. Do the work, put the oars in the water, and prepare for the storms.